I'm not. I'm not trying to stay awake. I'm in no pain though.
Well, that's wonderful.
All right, I want to call the April 2021 meeting of the Upson County Board of Elections, regular meeting to order. Thank you all for being here today. We got board member Janice Bennett on speakerphone, who couldn't be here today. So thanks for joining in, Janice.
Thank you.
Just to the public, I want to apologize in advance for what might be some audio and difficulties in hearing this live stream. Our normal equipment is tied up in another meeting scheduled ahead of this one, so we're using a different microphone and camera setup here today. So if you would, all of you, speak up as loud as possible when you speak. And hopefully the microphone will be able to pick it up for those who are watching the live stream or the playback. So let's start the meeting with an invocation, and bow your heads and I'll get it up. Our Father, we come here today thanking you, first of all, for the blessings you give us. And Lord, we just ask your presence in this meeting here today as we make decisions for our county concerning elections, and we just pray that all decisions made here. Thank you for continued blessings. It's in Jesus' name we pray. All right, last meeting's minutes, please. You all had a chance to look over those. Thank you, Mary, for putting those together for us. I'll take a motion in a second after you've looked over those.
I'm so much. I'm going to do it.
Got a motion? Is there a second? Second by Jessica, motion by Mr. Jack. And are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? All right, hearing none, all in favor of accepting those as printed, say aye. Aye. Very good.
That's good, Dennis. You made me jump.
Any opposed, say nay. So those are approved. Thank you. All right, we've got old business. That's the next thing on the agenda. We've got a couple of items carried over from last meeting. The first will be a discussion of providing wheelchairs at precincts. So I don't know what all I wasn't here at last meeting. I just know that whatever was discussed was tabled, so I don't know. First of all, let me.
Johnny Broadnax brought that up, Robert.
All right, okay. I've got my opinion on it, and I'm going to hold that for a few minutes anyway, and let you all speak your opinion on it. I don't want to influence it with my opinion, but not yet. So, what's your thoughts on that? Should we do it? I'm just going to outline some pros and cons when I speak about it. So,
Somebody needs a wheelchair to come to voting. Normally they have one already. Wouldn't come to vote and I don't have a wheelchair.
that's one of my comments.
I don't know who would come if they had a wheelchair. Need a wheelchair from us.
And the lady that was leading it at she got into a few days. I was not really sure that she had needed a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we're listening.
And I personally don't think we're in the business for handicaps. They've got absentee voting for that, and I'm just going to skeptical of it. That's just my opinion. What everybody else thinks, my opinion.
All right, anybody else? What?
I mean, I agree. I think, having the wheelchair cause other issues. Um, how many wheelchairs do we have? And then if all of them are taken, that would be an issue. Where we gonna store them at? The cost of them. I mean, who's gonna keep the maintenance on them? I mean, I just feel like I agree with Mr. Jackman and Ms. Janice. Absentee ballots are provided, and if someone is in a wheelchair, I feel like they would have that equipment, whatever, whether it's a wheelchair or whatever other type of assistance they needed. I think they would have it with them when they came. I mean, we would do anything we can to help somebody when they come to vote. So I don't want anybody to take what we're saying out of content when we say we shouldn't provide that. But I don't think, I just think it was also.
And then you get into the issue of, students falling, whatever. I just don't think we need to be responsible for that.
Yeah, the wheel came off one of the chairs, so you ready.
Yeah, I'm just not for it. I'll be honest with you, I'm just not for it. That's why I wanted to hear you. I knew I brought that up, and Johnny was the one that so insisted on it. The lady got in the car, drove off, and came fine. So I just understand why she's taking up that wheelchair. She may have really, really needed it. I don't know.
But
I told Johnny I would bring it to the board.
I also feel like we should be consistent at all of our precinects. And I understand that, one place may have them and the other place, because they have them already. But I don't think, they have them for their purpose. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair for every other citizen that goes to the different precincts not to have them there. Like, but it looks like we're providing it at one place.
But I don't agree with this. Yeah, that day they went to bail on that, called that. So, that day.
I saw the video of it, yeah. I wasn't there present when it happened,
But she didn't need it.
she wasn't wheelchair bound though.
I know it, but that was again, anything can happen. And I don't know that you can be prepared for the whatever could happen. You just have to call 911 right quick.
Well, any other comments for it? Well, I'm pretty much in agreement with what's already been said. I'll just echo the fact that, we provide ADA accessible voting precincts. Every one of our precincts are accessible for wheelchair, all ADA accessible. We comply with all of them. We are not in the business of providing wheelchairs or walkers or canes, and where does it stop? And if you've got a line waiting to vote at early voting or election day, how many wheelchairs do you need? So if you got one wheelchair at each precinct, then you're gonna have people that complain that there wasn't enough.
But if they are handicapped or they're over the age, they can always go to the front of the line at certain times, at early voting and on election day.
Exactly, and that is a good point that I hadn't even thought of. If you're, whether you're early voting or on election day, if you're disabled, you're over a certain age, or you're just having a hard time, maybe you're 20 years old, but you got a broken leg, then all you have to do is say something, or we observe. We can't always observe everybody in line, but as soon as we do observe it, we'll offer you the opportunity to go to the head of the line. I don't care who it makes mad. Yes, and I'd rather do that than, provide wheelchairs that we have to maintain, and then we don't have places to store them, and have maintenance done on them, and take the chance of one of them wheel falling off or something happening. So I just feel like we have other opportunities for voting as well. Like Jessica brought out, that's what the absentee by mail process is for. That's what it was originally designed for. People who were disabled, elderly, hard time getting around, or they were going to be out of town on voting day. Those are the original intents of the absentee by mail process. So you can certainly take advantage of that. And if you're wheelchair bound, if you go somewhere else, I'm sure you take your wheelchair with you. So you know, if you need a wheelchair to come and vote, then you should bring a wheelchair with you. We are ADA accessible, and you can roll right up, so on and so forth. So that's my opinion on it. So if anybody wants to bring any kind of motion concerning it, then you can.
Well, there should be a motion to me would be that we are ADA approval. You should bring your own wheelchair. I just think once you draw that line and let people start waiting for you to provide that, we're in trouble.
I don't think we need a motion to do what we've been doing already. We just need a motion to change it to something else. So
That'd be my motion.
we have no motion, then
I offer a motion that, we do not provide wheelchairs to any of the precincts for early voting or on election day, and that all precincts are treated the same. It's throughout at all precincts.
we have a motion and a second that even at the ones where they already are, we stop it.
I think so, because other people, if you go to another precinct, they don't have it, so it's like, okay, they're there, but we're not the ones providing it, but people don't know that. So it's consistent everywhere you are, otherwise it's pointless to even make the motion. If you're gonna do it at one place and not at another.
That's why I said that.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we not provide any wheelchairs, or even the facility where the precinct is not provide any wheelchairs for voting assistance in that. You need a wheelchair, you bring one with you, and you're more than welcome to. So, is there any further discussion on that? That's going to upset a couple of folks, but that's okay too. Hearing no other discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor of accepting this motion as presented, raise your right hand. Any opposed?
I have them raised.
Thought that was your leg.
Any opposed? Any opposed to raise your right hand as well? All right, that motion passes.
I mean, and if we, I'm not gonna put sign up or something, right, because people have done that in the past.
I suggest we advertise that leading up to the next election. No wheelchairs are provided at precinct.
Or request to be brought to the council.
And that's one of the
All right, moving on. Our next part of the point of old business is last meeting we had a citizen who has filed a formal complaint. Unhappy with the situation that happened in the precinct. It involves a poll worker. We won't discuss that openly. So I'll accept a motion that we move this item of old business down to toward the end of the meeting, and we'll discuss this in the executive session.
Item B on old business.
We have a motion and a second to move this item to the executive session, which will be held toward the end of the meeting. And, that will be off of camera and close to the public. And then we'll come back after the executive session and announce our findings or whatever, or what we talked about. But, since it involves personnel, we can discuss that openly. All right, so we'll do that. New business. First item on new business is the new voting law. And it is new to us as well as it is to everybody. So we'll let Pam kind of outline the high points of how it affects us.
So I have, some questions that, different elected supervisors sent to Chris Harvey, and he has, responded to them. So I'm just gonna say the question and tell you what his response was. They say, is the absentee application portal still allowed since the application must be signed? So, we used to do, they could get the application for absentee ballot online. Well, no, you can't do that now. It's not gonna be open this time. Does the drop box at the main office have to be inside the building? I only see that those at advanced voting must be inside. It says, yes, it appears that the intent of the law is that all ballot drop boxes be indoors. So it means the one that we currently have outside, we will need to bring that inside. Will the ballot order from a vendor, which is like we use Tatnall, be printed on security paper? So the ballots, our absentee ballot, will now have to be on security paper, kind of like our ballot that Dominion does. So they said, we were wondering this because of the budgeting. And they said, yes, they would need to be on Dominion produced paper. So that may not be a little high. Higher, but the Attorney General will establish the outline for election complaints and have the authority to review each complaint. How will this new law impact the state election board currently? Will these complaints be handled by the GBI instead of SOS investigators? Is it possible that SOS and the AG office will investigate the same complaint? He says, now all of these, and what he said, they're still looking at it and evaluating all these questions, but this is how he reads the law. He said, I believe that the AG office will forward those complaints to the SOS investigators, and then the AG would always have authority to ask the GBI to investigate. So he's saying, like, I guess to investigate us. What are the hours?
Or anything.
Or anything that we don't do, they feel is, so we broke the law.
Or a voter.
Yep, anything. Yeah. What are the hours for advanced voting? It's 9 to 5, the minimum. If we normally vote 8 to 6, we have to cut that to 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. He says advanced voting hours are a minimum of 9 to 5 on weekdays, and the 2 mandatory Saturdays, because now we have to do 2 mandatory Saturdays for early voting. Counties may extend the hours as far as 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on those days if they so choose. And we can do an optional Sunday. And the county can choose the hours. It is open, but cannot be greater than 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You can do 7 a.m. to 7, but you're only required to do 9 to 5.
That's correct.
But 7 A to 7 P is the maximum.
That's right.
What about the 2 Saturdays? Which 2 Saturdays?
It's the first Saturday of early voting and the second Saturday of early voting.
Sure. I hope you're right. I read it or heard it or something that it was last 2 Saturdays. Second and third. I hope you're right.
And they said it's supposed to be only the state and federal elections. That's how we read it. But see, he didn't say that. That wasn't specifically outlined in these questions. So that's what we're still trying to figure out. Is it going to be just for state and federal elections, or do we have to do this for county elections? Right. Yeah. We don't know that yet. But I'm thinking it's the first one and the second one because the next one we have to upload.
Normally, and that's what was my thought, but when I read it, that makes sense.
We'll have to go back in there. I underlined this, I mean, highlight this stuff. And then if it's underlined, that's what they changed. Okay. They talked about the water situation. We can have self-service water coolers for those waiting in line, just not other beverages. This, and then he says, this code section shall not be construed to prohibit making available self-service water from an unattained receptor to an elector waiting in line to vote. If this is added.
Have we ever done that before? Gave up water?
Not since I've been here.
Not since I've been involved. I know we haven't. I was shocked at that.
So we got section 25A1A mentions a deadline for absentee applications, 11 days prior to an election. So they said, does that mean that if we receive an application for absentee ballot after the 11 days before the deadline, we are to reject it and not send the ballot? That is correct. They do not want us to fill out ballots after the 11 days before an election, which I like that.
I like that. I wish if y'all think I like that.
I mean, you got 3 months.
I know it. That's why the advanced voting on the 2 Saturdays, I'm not ready for that, but whatever.
These absentee ballot envelopes are gonna be, different because they have to change the design of them. Our vice president number and the next person. Like he said, we are having to redesign the outer envelope. Samples of other jurisdictions that have similar requirements. Okay. It's gonna have to be something, I'm thinking that when they send it back to us, that it's gonna have a flap or something with all that covered and we have to tear it.
You tear the flap and look at the information without actually looking.
The ballot, correct, right. That's just what I'm thinking. You know, we have to send a list of certified absentee voters, report. You know, we have to do that. And, it has to be by precinct. We're gonna do it by the day. Or from early voting. We'll send it to the state and to, we gotta put it on our website, I think. I have to check that. But it said it does not have to be handwritten because it's something in that report, but it does have to have a list of them for each precinct.
Each day.
How what we get by mail and,
That's probably can.
it says certified absentee voters, that means all absentee voters. And the last one says, the signature is required on the, what is it called, envelope. It's required, so it's not required to be compared. And the date of birth are required of everyone. The driver's license number, ID number is required if the voter has either. If the voter doesn't have either a driver's license number or ID, the last 4 of the social are required. If the voter has no social security number, they must provide a HAVA ID with the ballot. And we're looking at how they can do that. This says that, I think it's like the ones we provide. Not hard.
But Pam, do y'all still make that picture if you want it in the office?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
we do.
Okay.
You find something.
It says, voting shall be conducted beginning at 9 a.m. and at 5 p.m. on weekdays, other than observed state holidays. During such period, it shall be conducted on the second, then it's Saturday, so second and third Saturday, during the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if the registrar or absentee ballot clerk so chooses, second Sunday, or the second Sunday, the third Sunday, or both, the second and third Sunday, prior to the primary election during the hours determined by the registrar or absentee ballot clerk, but no longer than 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Provided, however, that if such second Saturday is a public or legal holiday, pursuant to Code Section 141, if such second Saturday follows a public and legal holiday occurring on the third or Thursday or Friday immediately preceding the second Saturday, or if such second Saturday immediately precedes a public and legal holiday occurring on the following Sunday or Monday, such advance voting shall be held on the second Saturday, but shall not be held on the third Saturday prior to such primary or election, beginning at 9 a.m. but ending at 5 p.m. Instead as otherwise provided in Section Saturday.
So it is the second and third. So when we gonna upload?
Because it says if you also want to do you can do the second and third Sunday if you want to.
But if
I'm not for that here,
what
but
I'm saying, if we get the second and third Sunday.
that's what I'm getting at is you wouldn't be able to do the upload
No.
until, when you gonna do that? We're taking out equipment on Monday.
Right, that's correct.
So I don't know how we're gonna work that out. I would think they got a plan.
On that.
I don't know why it wouldn't be the first and the second as opposed to the second.
Then we need to, if you can find us, tell us how to put those people, that list of people on our website, because we have to put that on the website, in the, basically, for that list. Certified absentee voters list. Woo! That's you. Thank you.
All right, moving on.
Woo.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. I got it on my ear.
I would do that. And like I said, this is still, okay, this says, now I want the people to know that these answers represent our best evaluations at this time. This is what Chris Harvey said. And he's gonna tell us more at our training or conference in August. So I know what I know. If I get more information, I'll let the whole board. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all sure do.
They won't allow it though.
Yeah, but now it's like,
Won't allow them to
they
do that.
didn't keep me counting from. But I'm sure they'll do like webinars and all that.
That all of us.
That's it. It was just.
All right, so that's kind of the high points of the changes in the law that affect what we do. So, there'll be more information to come. Any questions about any of those? It's been quite the controversy nationwide. Personally, don't see it, but
I think we've already said there's 28 states that have a whole lot more than we do. Including New York.
we,
I think you,
we've never had, I just use drop boxes. There was no such thing as a drop box until COVID.
right,
And that was allowed under an emergency rule that's expiring. So if they had done nothing to change the law, we wouldn't even have drop boxes, period. So they've actually made that.
yeah, they caused all
One other
this.
thing I have to say.
All right.
You might have read this, they want us to have everything to them, to the state. Once we finish
With an election.
with the
After.
election. to the final.
Oh, uploads and all that.
That's why they want to know, that's why they want the list of certified absentee voters beforehand. So they kind of keep track of what's going on in each county, and that way you can.
I don't see a problem, I really don't see a problem getting that done as long as we can still open and process absentee ballots ahead of time, do all that, and we're gonna have to make some accommodations for Salem and Yatesville to get their stuff to us sooner. They're so far out, they're waiting until they get everything packed up and all that, and I get it, you know, and so we gotta come up with a courier, or 2 couriers that can go down there. 2 of them. One person can do it.
Yeah, we can still open the envelope beforehand. I think they're still gonna give us 6 weeks time.
Do you think this, stopping it, not sending it out after the 11th day, would that be better? I think
So. I think that'll help with the
that's
last
gonna help a
minute,
lot.
getting them back, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
We
Do you
can
think
make
your
that.
office, can your office handle all this without, I mean, I know you're stressed, but what about having to do this daily with the different precincts? Do you need another person in there at that time?
That'd be fine. I mean, we're here.
Huh?
I think we're good.
Okay.
You know, one thing in my reading of this that I picked up on was talking about early voting, 3 weeks, 95, all that, and except on a holiday. But it says a state. We have some,
So you manage.
One day, state and federal, I think I really paid for.
I'm just saying that we have.
And legal holiday.
For instance, I'll give you an example. The county has a county observed holiday on New Year's Eve. Those are not federal or state observed. That means we have to do it. Happen again. We're going to conduct early.
They haven't got that for it.
Now, we got some holidays that are federal and state observed that we don't observe. What do we do? Does that mean we don't do early voting on those days, or we have to, or? Like Columbus Day. Columbus Day is an observed holiday, but the county does not observe that holiday. So,
Maybe I'll find out.
I think we'll have to still be, I think as long as we're open, like the county is open, we have to vote. We have to be voting. County closed and we close, because I'm pretty sure like last time, they said you could keep it, like, but if we were closed, some counties were not closed on Christmas Eve, but we were. So we closed our early voting, but some counties were open because they say per county.
we got beat up about it.
Yeah, but it wasn't from them, it was from our people here, like our local people, not the state people.
I'm just saying, is
Because
that still in effect? But it reads state and federal holiday. So we need to find out. All right, moving on, our next item is a discussion of our November election. We got coming up. There's a possibility that we're gonna have a City of Thomaston municipal election, City of Yatesville municipal election, and a SPLOST extension election. I'm pretty sure of the SPLOST one, which that's gonna be a county-wide.
Yeah.
We'll have to open up all the precincts in the City of Thomaston and Yatesville will only be if anybody up for election re-election has opposition.
I get one.
Yeah, don't know yet. Well, best I can tell, we're definitely having an election in November, any way you look at it, and it will be all precincts.
Is this T-Splotch or E-Splotch?
Regular
Just
size.
regular
Or
spot.
just regular Splotch? Okay.
I don't know the exact date.
November the.
Tuesday after the first Monday. Whatever that is.
It's November 8th. November 8th. No, yeah.
The ninth would be the election day. No,
Yeah.
November second,
You're right.
the first
The first is the
Tuesday,
Monday.
yeah, the first Tuesday after.
So would that be November 3rd?
Don't give it.
Yeah.
We need to rely on Jessica for this. We need to make sure the county's on track to get this information by the deadlines we need it by.
Yes, I've already done with him. Yeah.
And it's a lot further out than you would think. You know?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
We have to have the stuff to then.
the call for the election. I got to.
And I think we have to call for the election. I think the actual official call only has to be with we have to call for the election at least 90 days.
I'm not gonna say a number because I've already called out to. I'm not sure, but the liaison did email us back and give us specific dates. That's the one we had to have it in. So I have passed those dates along. Yeah, I asked Robin if he asked me.
It's gotta be I do know this, there has to be a minimum of 30 days that transpires between the call and the election. So as long as you got a 30-day window in between the two,
Now who calls for that election? The board does? What?
the commissioner would request the board call.
We would have to do a resolution, so,
I'm okay.
let's call for the election and then y'all would have to do whatever it is after that. So we have to have that resolution signed by a certain time. I think the time is sometime. I really think to get call that for them to establish.
That's the most pressing.
And then who does it? Y'all call for the city of Thomas and city of Hexton? They each do now. I can't. This is my first one that I've ever had to like.
They do. They do a resolution and they do it the same way. And send it. We actually make the call based on the resolution.
So they'll send that like they'll send us that email already.
Just like the East Block, for instance. The school board always gets that outside firm. They do everything. They give that over to us to actually make the call. That's what it has.
Okay.
But City of Yates will be the one I'd be most concerned.
Well, I would definitely. Definitely.
All right, so, any other questions on that? We'll know a little more as time goes by. Anything that transpires since we're only being most quarters. All right, so next item is, to enter executive session and talk about this complaint. So I'll take a motion that we exit this meeting, go into the all right, so we have a motion, we have a second by Jack, all in favor of tabling this meeting until after the executive session. Do you?
We wanted to go ahead and do the, comment before the executive session. I was here.
All right, well, let's do that then. Let's hold off on our executive session and go ahead and do our final comments and then we will go back. There's really nothing to say about the executive session, so.
No,
Be casting vote. All right, so,
There we go.
comments, Jack, we're gonna start with you.
Like all these folks, they just break down.
You do too,
They
Jack.
used to. And this one does all the right. And Janice, you too, I'm proud of you too.
I'm proud of you, Jack.
All right,
You done got on that other committee, and I pray for you about
I'm already resigning.
it.
I have no,
I can't really,
not yet, I have.
oh, I
I
didn't
know,
think that
I
was
know a
gonna
stack
work.
big when I see one.
I knew that wasn't gonna work.
All right,
That's all I got to say about it.
JJ, what you got? Eric, she's quiet in these meetings. That's all right. Oh, well, I don't really have anything other than, thank you all for what you, the job you do, and, I appreciate it. Stay out of the meetings.
Well,
What about you, Janice? What comments you got?
I love all y'all, and I think Pam and all that her office does a great job. I'm proud of them.
Absolutely.
you.
All
And I
right,
love Robert. I love all of you.
all right, so let's go ahead, and if there's no more comments, let's, set our next meeting date. July the 20th.
Is that the next meeting?
It is.
Okay, I'll try not to have a shot in the back. Paralyzed me.
10 o'clock a.m.
What time?
10 a.m.
Okay, that's fine. 20, okay.
I go along with them, but I sleep like. So I'm tired. But I go along with the working people.
All right, so our next meeting is July 20th, 10 a.m. So I'll take a motion that we adjourn the regular meeting and enter into executive session. I have a motion, do I have a second?
I second it.
Janice, second. Any opposed to that? If none, we shall stand adjourned. And in the executive session.
training.
You said always.
Yeah, I was